All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm really excited for today, and I'm super excited that everybody came today. And for those of you who's watching at home, thank you very much and welcome. This is a very proud moment for Fisker. If I could tell you only one thing about the ocean, I would tell you this. The Fisker Ocean have the longest EV range of any electric EV in the world in its class. I think that's pretty amazing. This was a key design objective that we achieved, but it was a goal from the beginning. But it took incremental gains to be able to do this. There was a lot of small details that had to work. And we had to massage, we have to work on to get to this world's longest range. I mean, there were several integrated aerodynamic features that we had to kind of invent to really get to that point. Underbody aero, we spent a lot of time on. Grille shutters, air curtains around the wheel wells. As you can see, these orange areas here, that's where the air curtains come out. And then the super efficient powertrain with rear disconnect. And of course, the 22-inch wheels, we actually have created together with our wheel supplier, super low rolling resistant wheels. And all these things together is actually how we achieve this goal. Of course, we also got an amazing battery pack, super energy dense in the Fisker Ocean as well. And coming to sustainability, the Fisker Ocean is built in a carbon-neutral factory powered by renewable energy. And that's not an accident. We chose all our suppliers who were committed to sustainability. That's what's super important for us, because we always say how it's made matters. We pay very close attention to using as much recycled materials or bio-based materials as possible. Sustainability is one of our most important brand values. And you're going to hear more about that later today. We like to innovate for sustainability. And give you an example of that would be the solar sky roof, which can actually give you 1,500 free and clean miles a year. And every time you park your car outside and you come back to it, you will actually see that it might have a slightly more range because you just get that free power. And when you make a car with timeless design that's upgradable, with over-the-air updates, you're making a car that you can enjoy all the time. And I mean not just like the first year, the first 2 years, as long as you have the car and even the next person. What we plan to do is deliver over-the-air updates every month, sometimes maybe every week. It all depends. Whenever we have some improvements, whenever we have something new, we want to do it with over-the-air upgrades, which means your car gets better and better and better. And in fact, it means that some of the first reservation holders or people who's already got their car, they're actually going to be part of getting some feedback that where we can keep improving ourselves, because that's how the car world works right now. That's how the world is with software. You got to keep improving it as we move forward, and we have a clear strategy of how to do that. Now, this car, of course, is also made for people who love driving. I mean, I think I've done more than 10,000 miles in this vehicle, both in Europe on the Autobahn and here in the US. And I can tell you, the car has amazing road holding, it's fast, it's fun to drive in all situations. And in fact, the Ocean's chassis was set up in collaboration with race car driver Abby Eaton. Of course, we got California mode. I put it on as I came in. You saw it in the video. All windows, roof opens up for that super convertible feeling. That's really unique to Fisker. And especially, in days like this, it's just great to be able to not only use your car as a utility SUV, but actually just to open everything up and feel like you're driving a convertible. And of course, we got the rotating screen that makes your car into a home movie theater. And it goes with that amazing stereo system. I don't know how many who has got their Ocean have tried to really put that high up, but it's actually quite amazing. And finally, the performance specs. 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. And in boost mode, you have available 564 horsepower. Now, to enjoy all that, we actually created 3 driving modes. We have the Earth mode, which is exactly what it means, saving the Earth. You're spending as little energy as possible to get from A to B. And that is a driving mode that if you truly want to save energy, you drive that mode. All right, let's meet Pear, which stands for, by the way, Personal Electric Automotive Revolution. We really want to design this vehicle here for today's and future's lifestyles. You think about cars, they've kind of not changed much the last 50 years when you think about different utility aspects of a car. So with the Pear, we actually started out looking at young people's lifestyles in big cities around the world. What do they do every day? What do they want out of a car? Young people living in cities. How will digital natives use a vehicle in the future? So we designed a lot of flexible spaces in this vehicle, flexible storage. I mean, you saw that kind of drawer that comes out, which we actually call a front boot, which is fruit. Now, I don't know if that's really a great word, but we were very excited about it. We might change that. But it also has, as you saw, the Houdini trunk. And there was a reason why we made that Houdini trunk. That was part of that whole study. And when you think about you're maybe living in a big city, you're parking on the street, and during the night, a big van comes up right behind you, and you come out in the morning, you want to throw something in your hatchback, and you can't open it. So that solves this problem. And I want to take a look at, again, what does this trunk here do? The window comes down, as you see here, and then basically the trunk goes down and disappears inside. Now, one of the important things I want to say with this vehicle, it also had a couple of other reasons. So, for example, there are some old cities where you have a very low parking garage, and again, you can hit your hatchback in the roof on those garages, but this doesn't happen here. And in fact, it's also really easy to walk over to the vehicle and throw something in the vehicle. Super easy. We can close that again. And coming a little bit back to the spaciousness of this car, I want to ask the people inside the car to come out, and I want to remember, this is a compact car, and there is 2 rows of seats in this car. As you can see, 4 doors. And people just keep coming out, by the way. So what we have here is actually a car. We actually have a car here. As you can see, 6 people fits in the car, which is quite unique in a 2-row vehicle. And this is why this matters, because if you want 6 people in the car today, you normally have to buy a 3-row vehicle, which becomes much larger, much more impact on the environment. In this vehicle, you can actually get all these people in the car. And the way we did that, in the front here, you will see that there actually is a bench seat. Instead of a 1 seat for the passenger, there's a bench seat where you can put 2 people, or you can just sit 1 person as well. So we'll offer this vehicle both as a 6-seater, but also as a traditional 5-seater with a unique storage right between the people, a very big center console. Here we decided to show the 6-person variant. You can also see inside this vehicle, there's a lot of new type of storage place. If you look at the whole dash, everything in the dash is about storage. We got some rubber bands where you can fasten things. So it's all about being able to put stuff in different places easily. What's also unique about this car is that we actually have something called the lounge mode, where you can move the front seats forward, fold them down, and the rear seat you can fold down. So you can actually sleep in this car if you want. You can just lounge. And in the 5-seat version, we offer the big 17.1-inch rotatable ocean screen, which really means that you can actually lounge in here and watch a movie. I also want to point something else out. Just talking about, as you all know, we want this to be a very affordable vehicle. So we took a different design approach on this vehicle. For example, I want to highlight the armrest over there. So the armrest in this vehicle, we only have 1 armrest. Now, I know you're thinking, well, who's getting that armrest of these 4 doors? Well, actually, we just designed 1 symmetric armrest, and it's used for all 4 doors. That means 1 part number. So if somebody has to get fixed an armrest, we just have to send 1 armrest. We don't have to ask which door is it. But it, of course, also lowers the cost, lowers the tooling, everything else. That was a theme we took throughout the car. But I want to talk a little bit about how else did we get to the low cost of producing this car. How are we doing that? Well, this vehicle is sitting on a new platform called SLV1. And that stands for simple, versatile, and volume. So what's unique about this platform is it started as a Steel Plus Plus. We called it that, the whole idea of how do we make this vehicle. And the Steel Plus Plus concept was a concept where we want to take parts out of the car. We want to reduce the part count. And we actually ended up with reducing the parts count in that vehicle of 35%. 35% reduction in parts count. That's a lot. That means it's going to be a lot easier to manufacture this vehicle, a lot easier to assemble it, and just think about, we talked about earlier, shipping parts, 35% less parts in this vehicle, which is quite unique. I also just want to talk a little bit about the exterior design, because we talked about some of the things going forward to certain things, or fitting in from the Ronin over here. So look at those headlamps. They're kind of cool. And of course, they're inspired a little bit by the Ronin. So you're going to drizzle a little bit of supercar stuff into this vehicle as well, despite the price. And you look at these sculptured fenders. Look at the sculptured design. We are going for something very unique here, which is getting away from all this clutter. It's just a very pure, clean design. And we really looked at doing something new also on the upper area of the vehicle. We kind of took inspiration from sort of the glider planes, which are super smooth and aerodynamic. So you see here at the rear, there's a window which is totally flush with the rest of the body, which is kind of cool, and I can show it over here as well. You kind of see this window here is totally flush, and it's just rolling up here, which is very, very smooth, very cool, very aerodynamic. And when you look at the rear, you can see these tail lamps here. They're just thin wraparound, but it's actually 1 large spoiler that also helped this being much smoother on the wind. And then going to the front, like I mentioned earlier, kind of every design detail we did in this vehicle was really about, how do you use a vehicle and what do we want to achieve? So if you look at the front, we actually have this very unique wraparound windscreen, and we have a low cowl. And the reason we did that was, again, we want to have that glider plane feeling with this giant panoramic view as you're driving around in the city. You want to have the best possible view all the way out, whenever you're driving around. That's what you want in the city. And that's why we designed this kind of super curvy front windscreen. All right, so let me come to something very important. I can 100% confirm, because we have pretty much finished developing and designing this vehicle. We, of course, now are working with suppliers, but I can confirm that this vehicle will start at $29,900. And that means after federal incentives, because we're going to build it here in the U.S., the price will be $22,400. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of car for money, I think, and a pretty cool car as well. And I think with all these different details, we actually can also broaden our market appeal to many different things that this car can be used for. For example, putting food here in the fruit, so you don't have it smelling inside the car, etc. So we have a lot of kind of cool things that we'll start showing off in this vehicle as we move forward. Now, this vehicle will come in mid-2025, and the Pear is our vision of a sustainable EV as a connected mobility device. This is the Pear.